good enough to come in and join me now. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much, Walid.
This recognition of those official religions, it's this idea of Pancasila, which is the basis really for the Indonesian constitution. What's the idea behind recognising the existence of those religions and not others?
It's a very long history on that, and still ongoing debate whether the government should recognize certain religion and disregard other religions. Because if we see the Pancasila, of course there are two important points that we can see from this Pancasila, especially for the first pillar, that is stating ketuhanan yang Maha Esa, or belief in God. So when the state mentioned about belief in God, then there is obligation by law in Indonesia for every Indonesian citizen to embrace any religions. But then embracing any religion is actually one of the freedom of religion that the constitution of the country also explicitly guaranteed and assure that the government or the state protect and also assure the freedom of religion and facilitate them to practice according to their religion.
Well, except that we have seen cases where this has really been thrown into relief and the debate's begun. Perhaps the most famous of that was to do with atheism. A man by the name of Alexander Ahn, who said in a Facebook update last year, he said, God does not exist. He was then taken into custody for his own protection, and he was badly beaten by a mob, and the end result after all that was that he was charged with blasphemy, which has led to this question of is atheism illegal?
Yeah, that's actually related to then the second issue, that government recognize certain religion. It is also problematic when people actually embrace religion other than these 6 recognized religions. It's also problematic for them because it's related to the consequence of any kind of state administration, not necessarily related to their specific religion, for example, marriage, religious education and all, but also related to, for example, your ID, it's explicitly mentioned there, but also services like health services and some other religious issues, cemetery and some other thing. Therefore, the problem here actually, I think I can say 2 problems here. The first, of course, the government explicitly mentioned that everyone should believe in certain religion, and this is actually one of the freedom of religion. But then the atheism is one of the issue that actually problematic, because Indonesia actually ratified the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, that actually within this Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the state should actually allow someone to believe in religion or to not to believe in religion. So now the win-win solution in quotation in this country is that, okay, if you are atheist, please use that as your private individual choice, but do not expose that to the public spheres.
Is the hostility, the public hostility, or lack of recognition of atheism a consequence at all of the communist coup or attempted coup in 1965? Is that part of the story?
That's actually related to, again, the communist movement, but the issue of communism in this country seems to be also, in my view, already politicized, because if we see and understand communism very closely, it's not necessarily a movement that is based on atheism ideology, but it's actually a movement that based on struggle for more fair justice and equal treatment for all people because of a very serious economic gap. So communism in Indonesian context, if we see the history very closely, does not directly relate to the issue of atheism, because so many communist supporters are believers of religion, and even some of them are also very prominent Muslim leaders, and they are the supporters of the communism.
So we can't conflate communism with atheism, and so the attitudes
exactly
are different. So is it time for Indonesia to rethink these aspects of Pancasila that are at odds with the way that the society has evolved?
Because within this Pancasila, then we could maintain our religious plurality, our cultural diversity, and also, of course, it could give everyone confidence and also security to embrace any religion, whether it is world religion or even indigenous religion. Because we can see now that because of the importance of Pancasila and people awareness of the importance of human rights, especially freedom of religion, as well as freedom from religion, then now the state also recognize the existence of indigenous religion, and if they wish to mention explicitly in their ID, these indigenous people who embrace indigenous religion could also mention their religion in their ID.
These are fairly big statements coming from you as secretary of one of the biggest Muslim organisations in the world, Muhammadiyah. But clearly not everybody in Indonesia feels this way, and we've seen a rise in tensions inter-religious and intra-religious.
But I believe in the future there will be more and more Indonesians have in the same position and opinion like me.
But why have we seen this uptick in violence?
Violence is actually something related to,
I've only got one
first
minute
of course,
here.
there has been the struggle of, we can say, political identity in this country, especially after 1998 when Indonesians celebrate freedom of expression. So within this very freedom of expression, that everyone are very, very brave enough to express their identity.
That includes extreme views.
Yes, and also you can see also the reincarnation of so many bands during the Suharto time. But
okay, 25 seconds. Listen, the bottom line is, for friends of Kirk Neville, aka Derived Energy, who's in jail in Jakarta, Indonesia, and we have not yet heard that he's been sentenced. It is against the law to be an atheist in Indonesia. There are 6 religions, you must be one of them. If they find out he's an atheist, he's up shit creek. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. Ciao.